we are going to go from the report card area to web items. So the web items area allows you to customize your class website with data that you want your parents, or information, I should say, that you want the parents of the students that you teach to see. So when you click on announcements underneath web items here, the first thing that you can put in are announcements that will be a part of your specific class, and only the parents, again, of the students that you teach will be able to see these announcements. So here you have two announcements. One dropped off on the 2nd. This one will end today. You simply put in your beginning, your ending dates. We have so many icons that you can choose from. Just a full list there. Make it global if you want it to go to all of your classes that you teach. If you want this announcement to appear in all of the classes that you teach, you make it global, give a title, and add a message. I'm going to click the edit button so you can see it. This case, we are doing a science experiment in my math class. We're dissecting frogs. I know that has no connection to 8th grade math, but we're extreme cross-curricular. So we're doing a science experiment, and we're dissecting frogs, and there are my scissors to indicate it. So here's my announcement. My parents will see it up through from the 6th till today. So that's how you put in an announcement. Pretty simple there. On my calendar here, next event is, or the next space is calendar, and I said event because these are day-specific events, so that if you want your parents to know, okay, today is the actual day of the experiment, you put the date, you can make it global again, the title, and the message. And here I'm offering my parents if they want to eat formaldehyde-laced frog legs. But no, we don't want to poison anyone. So my experiment is today, frog legs for dinner. That's my message, but of course we wouldn't eat those. So this is where you are putting in day-specific announcements for your parents to be able to see. So my others that are there, we had a class party. It was the first day of school. Now we are experimenting with our frogs. With documents, this is where you are going in and you are going to be able to put in documents that you want your parents to be able to access. Some common documents we see here: class syllabus, classroom expectations, supply list, all of those types of things you can load here. You can make them global, as always, and this is where I mentioned a little bit earlier. This was that document that was on my lesson plan, but this is where you can open up the dates. If you want to edit this so that it's on there longer, you can open up the date. I'll click the edit so you can see. There's my beginning, there's my end date, there's my caption, and I save it. You browse for the document. You give the information that you want to pertaining to it, make it extend however long you want to. This document can extend to 2025 if you want it to. It's just totally up to you how long you want the document to be out there. So you'll notice that I have 2 documents that haven't met their expiration date and 3 that have. So when we look at the Parents Web View, we're going to see those 2 documents, or at least we should. With Homework Drop, this is where you are going to retrieve student assignments that may have been uploaded through Parents Web. If you allow your students to have a Parents Web account, number one, if your students have email addresses so that they can create a Parents Web account for themselves, because parents cannot see the homework drop. We don't want parents uploading homework for students. So this is a student view where students are the only ones that can upload homework, and then once the student uploads it, the teacher, or as a teacher, you can come here and then download the file. You can see if you download it, you can see the file name, you can see when the student uploaded it. You can download it to grade or to print for the student. So this is just where you are going to retrieve those documents as a teacher, but students are the only ones that can upload them via Parents Web through having a student account. We're going to click Parents Web View for just a moment. We're going to bypass pictures for just a moment, and we're going into the portfolio area. Inside of the portfolio area, this is where you have access to the students that you teach. But if you want to upload a document for that student and you have an electronic copy of it, then you can browse for that document. add a note about it. You may have a student that's on a service plan and you have to do weekly evaluations or on an IEP, or maybe the student just simply does an outstanding essay and you want it to be a part of their portfolio. You can add it here by selecting the student, choosing the file, adding any notes, and uploading the document. Notice this is what it'll look like if you add the document and add notes. You can delete any documents that you put out there, and you can only see documents that you put out, but administrators can see any and all documents. However, parents cannot see any portfolio items. It is strictly for internal use at the school. Parents cannot see portfolio items, and neither can students. With resources, this is where we are going to put our web resources. So with technology today, there's so many educational resources available online. And if you have some that you commonly provide to parents, then you can go in and put in your resources. If you want to put it in a specific order, you can make it where one resource is at the top of the list all of the time by making the sort order 1. I'm going to click edit so you'll see it. There's my caption with math practice, and there's my web address. What we strongly recommend is that you copy the web address from the actual website into this area so that you don't fat finger something and either add an extra letter or omit a letter. You know, I don't need this to be IXXL. That might be a problem. So you want to make sure that you copy it over from the website, paste it in so that your parents are going to the right website. Another thing that we suggest is that you preview it before you save it. Once you save it, it's live, and every school has a parent that stays on Parents Web 24 hours. And if you put it out there, they'll be the first to say, oh, my goodness, why did the teacher put this website? So make sure you preview it before you save it so that what you want the parents to see is actually what is being seen. So this is where you are going to put on that Parents Web web resources. And parent may not stay on 24 hours. They just may stay on 20 hours. But there's your syllabus area after resources. We really encourage you to put your syllabus into the documents area so that you maintain your formatting, because this is just the text box area. And if you like it to keep it formatted, just put it in the documents area. One thing we do encourage with the documents, always upload PDFs so your data, your documents, the integrity is maintained. Web test, last on the list here before we go to pictures. With web test, this is where if your students are going to be able to do web tests and they have a Parents Web account, that's a student version of Parents Web, then you can create web tests for your students to be able to take online. Parents cannot see web tests. We don't want parents to take tests for students. So parents cannot see web tests, but you can set these up where students can. If I click the edit button, this is a really simple version of a web test. You see the name of the web test, my instructions for the web test, and you have word processing conventions there. And then just the basics of this exam. When is it how many points, how many questions, when is it going to start, when is it going to end? We can change the dates if we need to. What time are we opening this up for? How long are we opening it up for? If it is a quiz or homework or a test, practice, do you need a proctor to put in a password? How long are you giving the students to actually take the test? Are you showing the results when it's finished? Are you sharing this with other staff members? Allowing HTML tagging when you're setting this up. And then you save your test configuration. Once it's saved, you can go in and add your questions. You click the edit test questions, and there are my 3 questions that I've already put in. So there's my essay question. Have you learned anything today? Hopefully so. But there is your essay question, your multiple choice type, as well as your single choice type. Essay questions are the only ones, of course, that cannot be auto-graded. You have to physically read those. Here is a multiple choice question, and the difference between multiple choice and single choice is that multiple choice is enabled by selecting a checkbox, whereas single choice is allowed by accessing the radio button. So notice that my students have what is 2 plus 2. 4 is the right answer, as well as 20 divided by 5 is the right answer. I selected those 2 options as the correct answer. So now when my auto grader goes to grade, it knows that if the child selected 2 or 3, that is the correct answer. So this is where you can go in and add in your answer options. Again, you have multiple choice or single choice. Click where you want the answer, click the checkbox, put in your answer option, and type in your answer. So you add those there. Single choice, just the same. Again, though, it's the radio option. What is 3 plus 3? 6 is the only answer that's correct. It's marked that way, and I have done a really simple web test. My points are divided out. You can divide them out however you need to. So if this needed to be worth 40 points and this one was 40 points and this one was 20, you can divide it out however you need to. But that is the really basic view and really simple way of putting together a web test. To preview it, you can preview. There is my essay question. There is my multiple choice question, and there is my single choice question. So that's just an idea of what the students will be able to see if you did the web test. I'm going to return here to the web test view. And last but not least, I'm going back up to pictures. So here are my pictures. And so not only do I do science experiments with my Math 8 class, my 08 math class, but I also took them to the zoo. And my excuse was we went to go see the animals and count them. So that's my math connection, counting. And here we are where you can browse for pictures. So any pictures you have on file, you can browse for them, of course, give a caption. You can make it a part of your gallery in your classroom area, which will publish it to a photo album if you have those set up. The cover will actually make it the cover page for your web page. So if you don't want it to be the cover, don't select cover, just put it in the gallery. You can assign it to an album. There's my Zoo Field Trip album, and you can even put a hyperlink. So if I wanted to add a hyperlink to the Atlanta Zoo, I could. If I wanted all of my classes to be able to see this, I would make it global and click save. And so hopefully you're not feeling like this guy, but these are my pictures from the zoo. And now we will see what parents see. So the parents' web view is right here in the middle. I'm going to click on that. There's my parents' web view. We already kind of got a little glimpse of it when we went to lesson plans. But the parents, I'm going to click on classes. I see my name because I'm a teacher looking at this, but parents will see their students' names separated by tabs here, and they will be able to actually click on their student's name and see their classes and things of that nature. So I'm going to go into my 08 math class. And in order for your parents to see this, of course, administratively, your class websites have to be set to show things like lesson plans. But even if you don't put lesson plans on there, they can still see homework assignments if you allow homework assignments to show. And that will show the homework assignments that are pulling from the grade book, where you put in those graded assignments and publish them to the lesson plans. So here's my home page. It shows my information as a teacher, my school email address. If there were a phone number there, it would be the work phone number, not your personal cell. Here are my announcements. Well, here is my announcement. There's my dissecting frog announcement with my picture. And there's my calendar event with the frog legs for dinner. So you see those came over. Parents can print these. So if you go in and put those in ahead of time, all of the things that you're going to be doing for your class, if you need put in their class volunteer days and all of that stuff, then parents can print that out ahead of time if you have it in there. Homework assignments. Remember, anything we put in through the lesson, through the assignment area and publish it to lesson plan is going to land right here. We already did an overview, so to speak, of what the lesson plans look like, but I will review it just so you see. If I go back a couple of weeks here, that's where my lesson plans come in. So we see the days that there are lesson plans for. There are those days, and there are the documents that are connected to those days. We're not going to look at the syllabus area because everything is in our resources. There's my sample syllabus. There's my supply list. Remember, 3 documents had already dropped off as far as expired, so they're my 2 documents. And there's my math help. It does go to iExcel, so there is my iExcel there for my math help for my students. And any other help, really, iExcel covers it all. And there's my photo album. So there is where my parents can click on the thumbnail from my zoo field trip. And that is a glimpse of what parents will see when they log into ParentsWeb. You should also know that we do have a Spanish translation, so that if you have Spanish-speaking families, the headings and labels are now translated into Espanol. So I am going to log out of that for now and go back over to our web items area.